After a full day of unsteady climbing, Simon Yardwood leads his squad to the bottom of the cursed steps. The sun is all but blocked now by the swirling evil mist overhead. Now they stand in the midst of a filthy bog, the ground at their feet subsumed by black water of uncertain depth. Further along, the terrain appears shallower, but stilted movement within the damp ruins indicates enemies in wait. Cody and Dana are both going into this scenario in less than optimal health, and returning to this cursed atmosphere seems to be taking a psychological toll on Holly as well. Simon notes a few points in the ruins that look suspicious enough to investigate, but in his head all he wants to do is get everyone out of this swamp as soon as possible. The ranger fires an arrow into one of the ghoulies before testing the unfortunate depth of the pool before them. It's deep. Holly tries shooting as well, but finds her hand shaking. She wades into the bog. Sal attempts to cast Holy Beam, but calibrating the spell within the oppressive mist proves too difficult. The undead suddenly spring to life and crawl through the muck with unusual and terrifying speed. Orion attempts to distract the zombie attacking Holly, but it grabs the bird out of the air and dashes him against a nearby stone. Cody gathers his wits and leaps into the water. Somehow his flailing is able to push the attacker back long enough for Holly to carefully drape Orion over her shoulder. The rest of the party does what they can to swim across without swallowing too much stale liquid. The gathering zombies enter a frenzy, clicking their teeth and shambling through the muck. For a moment, Simon loses his composure and catches himself sinking faster than he can swim. Xerxes keeps a steady pace, however, and reaches the shallows just in time to crush one of their attackers. Vaughn notices Simon struggling and tries to help him with little success. Cody and Holly are again able to push away their slimy adversary, but its compatriot slinks into the water to take its place. Holly steadies herself on a nearby boulder and is able to jam her dagger down through the top of the zombie's skull with a critical hit. She lunges forward to grapple the other corpse just long enough for Cody to finish it off with his own blade. With the path now clear, Sal and Dana are able to paddle through and reach the shallows. Cody, however, finds his legs tangled in the zombie remains. He panics and splashes helplessly as he tries to free himself. As Holly helps assist the struggling recruit, the rest of the party spreads out, watchful of additional enemies. Sal discovers some arcane symbols burned into a dying tree. They are in an ancient esoteric script, but she is able to make out the partial workings of a spell. She will have to confer with Vaughn later. Holly paddles ahead after helping free Cody's leg, but across the dark water another corpse rises and shifts its empty gaze to the exhausted recruit. Simon steadies his aim and knocks the creature back into the literal and figurative abyss, thus earning his group a short reprieve. Seeing Cody safely making his way to shore, Simon slogs to an uninvestigated corner of the ruins. Xerxes and Vaughn are able to recover an intact but locked chest. Sal casts a healing spell on Cody as he reaches marginally drier terrain. Cody appreciates the fleeting warmth of the spell and stomps back to his feet and slaps himself bravely. Dana rolls her eyes as she notices Cody almost stumble backwards, Holly catching his arm. As she joins them, the fur on her neck prickles. Something evil is watching them from the tree line. Simon spies the hilt of a sword peeking from the cracks of the ruins. He can feel a small magic spark in his palm as he brandishes the weapon, which is made of some kind of ivory and a dark metal he is unfamiliar with. Cody and Dana duck out of sight of the approaching zombie, but it plods forward unrelenting and howling. Holly takes a shot as it lurches into view, but it persists. Holly notices a design burned into the creature's skin, peeking from under its hood. Her blood runs cold at the sight. Xerxes and Vaughn drag their prize toward dry land as hastily as they can, but it isn't quiet work, and the branded corpse turns in their direction. Sal joins Simon and quickly inspects the weird sword for curses. It looks clean. The branded corpse's howling draws forth another bog zombie. Holly tries shooting at the thing again, and Simon joins in, but their arrows appear to have no effect. It advances on Vaughn and Xerxes. The two take a defensive stance as the veteran dogman waves for the rookies to make their escape. Sal secures a separate escape route for herself and Simon. Out of nowhere, the ranger suddenly feels another spark from the bone blade. Not a moment too soon, he stabs into the water around his boots and skewers an undead black viper. Dark venom drips from the rotten snake's fangs as it deanimates. Simon is very glad he picked up this suspicious sword. Simon takes out the second zombie before whistling to signal his and Sal's retreat. Dana likewise makes her escape as Holly fires another futile arrow into the branded corpse. It rushes Vaughn and Xerxes, who are able to knock it back, but no amount of damage seems to affect it. As everyone ducks out of sight, Holly lingers behind, hoping to get a better view of the strange markings. A fly shows up from the hill, looking for something to lay its eggs in, and that's quite enough of that. The party manages to meet up again a mile or so away, and they set up camp safely. And with some help from Dana, Orion recovers from his pummeling. He perches on Holly's shoulder gratefully. Inside the recovered chest, they find some armor in fairly decent condition, and they award it to Xerxes. At this point, the crew is simply too bushed to discuss the situation in detail. But Sal and Vaughn agree that whatever force it was that corrupted this land, it was done with intention. Something or someone is guiding the spread of the Shadow Deep.